For the last 6 or 7 months, we have suffered here with the weather being terrible and finally things are starting to look an awful lot better. And nowhere more so than in this meadow, which is closest to the house. We've recently had the perimeter of it fenced, which means our goats are on here dealing with the weeds and the brambles. We've got some Wiltshire Longhorn sheep, which are looking after the grass. It is pretty much exactly what we wanted. It's a little bit of land that has been looked after by a small number of grazing animals and very little left for us to do, apart from the ditches, which is today's project. Now in a couple of weeks time, I'm going to be hiring a digger to come through here and basically dig the ditches out. They haven't been touched in decades and are filled with silt and rubbish. They need to be scooped out so the water can drain off of them properly. But what I need to do first is basically clear around the edges so that when I'm doing that I can see what I'm up to, which means removing all of these. And I've got the perfect tool for it. "18 months ago, when I first started buying the tools that I would need to look after this place, I couldn't wait to get things with an engine. If I had a 2-stroke bolted onto it, I was sold. But over time that appeal was worn off a bit, and at the same time I've been super impressed with all my indoor tools, which are battery powered. So this year I've gone batteries outside too. If you've watched previous videos, you'll have seen the CS45 chainsaw I've been using, which is an absolute beast. And Jen's current favourite is their extending pole saw. Nice thing about that for us is that we can cut stuff that's low enough to reach with a regular chainsaw, but we can do it at a safer distance. And now this, the pole Hedge trimmer, the PH22 model, 51cm blades with a couple of different running speeds, and using the same 82-volt batteries as their other kit, and the charging box in the workshop means that those batteries are always ready to go. Best thing about this is it's over 2 meters long, and so at 6'6" it means I can trim stuff close to the deck without having to bend over and do my back in. And obviously it's not just hardcore stuff like cleaning drainage ditches where we're using it. In fact, it gets most of its use on the sort of stuff it was designed for in the first place, which is cutting back hedges and bushes. We've got a huge amount of that stuff here, and being able to do it quickly and easily is essential. And just like that, the ditch is cleared, and all that's left to do is a couple of back and forths with my Izeki brush cutter, because I want the edge of the ditch as free from long overgrowth as possible. That way it should be able to dry out before I start driving the digger over it. Easy as that, job done. Next week or so, bring the digger in here, plenty of room, can see what I'm doing now, and scoop this ditch out. And it so needs doing. Let me just show you the worst spots. And you can see here, it's just mud. And Jen's trod in there with her waders on, and it's pretty much waist deep. We're talking 2 or 3 feet deep in the middle, all along here. And what happens is, because the water isn't in here draining off this way, instead it just sits under the ground here and makes this whole area here wetter than it should be. You can see along here, so much debris, detritus has come down this little trickle stream here that it's basically built up like a hardcore almost down here, just river rocks and stuff. All that needs to come out, and then it'll be able to flow off down there and eventually get down to the river. And hopefully, if you're wondering what these big ugly things here are, they are American skunk cabbage. They love wet, boggy ground. We only get them growing where the ground is saturated. So rather than trying to defeat them, because it's almost an impossible task, we're trying to dry them out. If we clear this ditch out, the water will run off here properly, and yeah, hopefully they'll die off with them. Even the dog doesn't come down here, it's too wet. And in case you're thinking, why don't you just use the brush cutter on its own, and why bother clearing to see where you're going? It's a good question. I just started on this little ditch over here. I thought I won't bother seeing where I'm going, I'll just wing it. Just drove the brush cutter into a ditch. Typical.